Hey guys, Nugi here, and in today's video we're gonna go over the Pet Sentry build as it was recently nerfed due to the sharpshooter change. So what happened in a recent stealth nerf was, or bug fix or whatever you want to call it, nobody really knows why, but it is now changed and sharpshooter now interacts with pets and sentries in a different way than before. So in the previous video I did, we were using sharpshooter because there is no reset on pet and sentry attacks, since they were not categorized as being your attacks. Therefore they would never reset the sharpshooter buff. Now they do. So sharpshooter is not really a viable option anymore. But we have acquired all this pet gear, Tasker and Theo, the cloak of the Garwolf, like all this pet gear. Can we still put it to use? And I would say yes, we can. It's a little bit more gear dependent now. It's harder to gear up, but we can definitely make a physical build with pets and sentries that will work. So let me first go over the new skills that I've chosen to go with. So I just have a standard, just a generator that I can spam whenever, hungering arrow. This could actually change the hungering arrow. I'm not sure that it's entirely needed. Multi-shot definitely needed. With suppressing fire, what this does is that whenever I shoot I regenerate discipline, and then what I then do is that I keep spamming this. As soon as I start running out, I use preparation with punishment. So I basically become a living turret. So I can stand like this while my pets do the work. So I have just the Vault Tumble. Is Tumble worth it? Well, or Vault worth it? I think with the Tasker or the Danetta setup, which I've chosen to go with for this, it's definitely worth it. It allows for quick movement across the map. You can stun them, you can do a lot, like you place these. Like as you can see here, there's a lot of distractions from your character. The build is basically, we want to not have to tank, like we want the demon hunter not tanking anything. We want the pets to be the meat shield. We don't want it to spam, put down the sentry, just keep spamming, num num num. That's kind of the idea here. So we have the wolf companion, we have the 4-set bonus. Let me get in here. So we have the 4-set bonus with the Ring of Royal Grandeur. I've chosen to go with Orc Hill's power. Got some companion damage in here and some cooldown reduction. We have these two that should always be on cooldown. I got the Tasker and Theo. I would really love now. Before, attack speed was actually best in slot. Now crit chance would be better over attack speed. So if you can go get a Tasker and Theo with a pre-rolled crit chance or crit damage on it, that would be the best in slot you can get here. I am not entirely sure if I want the Orc Hills, or I could also go with like a Natalie's Calamity setup, where when you spam this, it would apply the mark to everything, because we're still kind of lagging the mark in this build. This is why I'm saying that we might actually want to let the mark go here. It might still work. It's a little bit more, you need to be sure what you're doing. We have a lot of regen in here, regen here. We got the regen from the archery passive. I could use the Templar as well for even more regen for the hatred. And then we could be applying the mark as well. So we can still have the exact same setup pretty much, with the addition of you firing a lot of the time. And then I had the Stone of Jordan with the physical damage, the damage to elites. The main thing here is, and this is also why I use Orc Hills, is that elites are gonna be the main problem to take down. You can quickly kill any additional adds like white monsters with the spam here, with the pets and everything running around. But where you're lacking the most right now is going to be on single target. So it's very important to have a lot of elite damage, I feel. And that the setup is pretty simple. I have the Harrington Waistguard here. You could have Witching Hour as well. I would assume we could figure out a few other setups here, but this is what I'm going with now. I like the Harrington, where you run around, click the chest, and then all of a sudden all your pets become really strong. Just a Hunt of Vaxo here. This actually works well with the vault, because whenever you vault into them, you stun and then you proc the shadow clones. These shadow clones can also add the mark for you. So if you're in a boss fight, you have this Horn of Vexo, you could just stun them. If you don't have Horn of Vexo, don't bother with it, but this is just making use of what I have right now. In terms of gaining extra damage with this build, I could have multi-shot damage here, multi-shot damage here. I have Hungering Arrow damage here. I could also go, like, seeing as I'm trying out right now. I can't guarantee that this is gonna completely work, but also this with more toughness, a little bit more damage with without the Hungering Arrow. But you can get Hungering Arrow here and on the belt. You can get Sentry and Companion damage on shoulders and chest. Let me show you here. This is also why you can add a lot of damage on different pieces of gear without actually going without overlapping. As you can see, Sentry and Companion, there's no multi-shot damage here. There is, however, on these boots. I'm not going to reroll these boots now, but if I found another pair of Marauders, I would definitely reroll them into multi-shot damage. Same thing goes here. Like right now I have the crit, but I could roll into getting more multi-shot damage for even more damage. So you can see you can add a lot of damage to all your abilities on top of all this. Physical damage, physical damage, physical damage, elite damage, and just the good old rolls. If you do that, however, do note that you sacrifice primary slots, which is going to dip into your overall vitality and tankiness. So that's something that's going to give you more damage, but it's going to take away from your tankiness. This is why the previous build was very nice, because you saved a primary slot. That was very, very nice. I'm going to try out one Rift. I haven't actually tried this on Torment 4 yet. I normally play this on Torment 3, but let's try it on Torment 4 and see how it goes. I might change the mark for death as we go into the map, but let's I'll let you in on my process right now. So the thing is, will I use Hungering Arrow over the mark? That depends on, is it gonna get annoying in terms of keeping up the resources. So you can see we have plenty of quick work of all the whites. Oh, that was a Gobber. As you can see, the Harrington belt always doing good work. I'll go over my passive after I am done. That's the one thing I missed. My passive, so I'll go over those right after we're done in here. Also my Paragon points, of course, I'll go over those. Oh, protection. I have a Nemesis Bracer, so I should actually be using that every time. Oh, I'm actually trying to Hungering Arrow here, or I should just that's my bad. It's because I forget that I actually have the mark. As you can see, I'm not usually using this setup. As you can see here, it's actually very nice having that extra. Oh, let's mark that guy. Let's get out of here. So these are pretty much the worst. Some of the worst type of monsters. And with the waters, this becomes very annoying. But as you can see, Torment 4 making crit works and reliefs, even with this physical build and pets. The pets are actually doing a lot of damage, especially when they stack up on one target. Then they really start doing work. Let's mark that guy up. Keep the sentries going. As you can see here, this is pretty easy. Mark. Not really used to playing with without the Hungering Arrow, so it's a little bit wonky right here. So these angels are pretty much the worst in the game for like anyone to kill. You see, here's where you will need the Hungering Arrow. I'm just gonna spam whatever I can, even the auto attacks. So here we have the Rift Guardian popping up here. You see, this is where you really want the Hungering Arrow as well. Pets down. Pets up. So that was Torment 4. As you can see, like, It becomes a little bit annoying with not having a generator, because you do run out on single target, as you cannot hit enough with the discipline. And the thing is, for this, for 25, whenever you gain 25, you can like turn that into 75. So by hitting 6, you're pretty much generating 18. Plus the regen here, it becomes to the point where you can just spam this indefinitely. As you can see, a pet build is definitely still viable, and the thing is, with multi-shot, how it works is that you really want stuff to be in front of you, so you can just unload into it, and you can just spam the multi-shot into it. And that's what happens here with all the pets. And then you have the sentries just spamming like you, and the sentries, and so basically it's you plus 2 sentries plus a wall of the companions that are all doing damage at the same time. So you're stacking all these things together, and it becomes a really nice combo. This is the first time I've done Torment 4. I fought a lot of angels, a lot of very annoying monsters. Actually, this is one of the less pleasurable setups I've encountered with this build, and even so, it went pretty smoothly. I have some sunlight right now, so I can't really tell in dark maps where I'm going, but anyways, it worked out great. Lastly, I'm gonna go over some of the choices I've made in my passives here. So I've technical advantage. As you go up in higher torment, I would probably swap that out with perfectionist, giving you that extra toughness, and then I would probably swap tumble out with like, this is pretty much if you want to just walk through the map, if you're okay with that. And then you can go healing vapors here. This is for torment 5 and 6 with the pet build. Say you get calamity and the net setup, calamity net setup, or just calamity and something else really nice. Calamity is pretty much the key ingredient in going torment 5 plus, because it gives you so much extra damage because you spread the smart to everything instantly. Okay, so we get that. This would be like that setup. Then you can go, you wouldn't go this anymore, and you can actually have your hungering arrow here with probably devouring arrow set up. You could also swap this with something like Rain of Vengeance, Dark Cloud. The thing about Dark Cloud is that it's physical, so it scales completely with all your physical damage and gear. So this is actually a great ability in this. Normally when you see these loaded for bear and fire builds going Rain of Vengeance, it's not that great because it's not really scaling the damage how you want it, but with this physical damage scaling, it actually becomes a very potent spell. And so if you can just have that with that, and then you can just spam like this with all the pets, all of a sudden you have a lot of damage going for you at the same time, and you're actually a pretty nice powerhouse in this way. Let's see. Lastly, I want to just browse over the Paragon points. Paragon points here is to cap your movement speed, the rest in dex. I have 10 movement speed from this pet setup. I have 10 movement speed here. Normally you don't really want movement speed. I would rather have armor here instead or something like that, so I can put movement speed in here. But that's okay. Offense, I go crit chance first because as you can see here, you want a 10-to-1 ratio. And I would need 49 crit before I would start getting a crit damage. So I'd need around, or 48.9. If I had 48.9, I would start wondering whether or not going crit or crit damage. Then it would be equal. But until I get that ratio, I keep stacking a crit chance. If I had like 400 crit damage and 45 crit chance, I would go crit damage instead. So there's a 10-to-1 ratio in terms of if you're going for raw damage output. Defensive, the always, and then some life. I feel that's the better setup. I have area damage here and cost reduction. Area damage is only for your attacks. It doesn't work on the pets, but you are doing a lot of area damage by doing this, so you really clear up those monsters very fast. Ambush is nice when you're solo. It's less nice when you're not soloing. If you were not soloing, consider going Cold a week if you have some cold damage in there. When you're soloing, however, if you can, the thing this does is that whenever you multi-shot into a pack, if you crit and they're whites, they almost get one shot because of this passive. So that makes it's really nice for cleaning up everything very fast. Steady aim is actually very good in this build because you can sit back while your wall helps you. That I think I covered most. Custom engineering, you could do that. You could get Calamity and the +2 to sentries, and then you could. I would actually say go. If you want more sentries, that's the way to go. Custom engineering here is not really worth it, because you really want to, because now you're not relying on sentries anymore, you're relying on the total package, and the custom engineering isn't really the total package, so I would probably not take that. So a lot of good options depending on how fast you want to be. The faster you want to be, then you take away some defense and you add in some mobility. The Nether adds a lot of speed, so you could do this and speed farm it pretty quickly. So yeah, you could do Torment 2 and 3 and you could really have some great speed here. Only thing I want to note is that with the current change to sharpshooter, it's harder to gear it up, but it's definitely still viable having a physical pet build. It becomes a hybrid option, but now you have to do a little bit yourself. I really enjoyed the other option. I don't think the other was necessarily that much stronger, if even. I think with perfect gear this will be just as strong, if not even stronger. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.